the Indiana Fever made an unexpected coaching change that has completely upended the basketball community. Suddenly absent was Stephanie White, the seasoned team leader who had once led them to success. And in her place comes none other than the legendary Larry Bird, whose name alone chills sports history. The brightest talent in the WNBA, Caitlyn Clark, was completely stunned. However, what would have caused such a startling upheaval? This is the backstory of the astonishing revelation that took the basketball world by surprise. No one could have foreseen that moment. Not the press, not the devoted crowds that swarm Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and most definitely not the most seasoned basketball commentators. The typical buzz of excitement filled the arena. However, Caitlyn Clark came closer to the microphone. Everything was different. A silence descended upon the audience as though each person's heart had ceased abruptly, suspended in a group standstill. Everyone was watching her, every ear strained to hear her words, every camera lens concentrated. Then she started talking. Words that were so simple yet so powerful that they rocked the basketball world right away. The head coach of the Indiana Fever was replaced. However, this was no ordinary hire. It was a completely unexpected individual. Someone whose mere appearance had the power to completely upend fans' preconceived notions about the WNBA. This was no typical announcement. It wasn't merely a standard organizational change or a team upgrade. This change was profound and had wide-ranging effects, something that might change the foundation of women's careers. Basketball. The ramifications were astounding. All of a sudden, the conventional lines separating organizational decision-making, player impact, and strategic leadership were being rewritten in real time. Already a sensation on and off the court, Caitlyn Clark had assumed leadership roles in a number of ways, establishing herself as a key player with the ability to influence the franchise's future. Almost instantly, questions started to fly through the sports media. Networks, social media posts, and conversations in the locker room. How did the Fever get associated with this renowned figure? What behind-the-scenes activities, secret talks, and secret agreements have led to this momentous occasion? Could this collaboration, which seems so implausible on paper but is unquestionably exciting in practice, alter the course of the league as a whole as well as the team? What did it signify for the WNBA stars of the future? Coaches and spectators who saw history being made in front of them? The excitement online was a reflection of the energy in the arena. Analysts rushed to comprehend the change. The alternatives were hotly disputed by fans, and sports journalists rushed to obtain expert commentary. The sentiment seems to be echoed in every story, tweet, and post. A remarkable event had just taken place, and the ramifications would last for years. The stage was prepared for a new era, a collision of star power, talent, and strategy that could have changed the definition of success in women's professional sports. When Caitlyn Clark announced a coaching change, she was more than just a player. She was a force for change, a spark that kindled a fire of interest, conjecture, and enthusiasm. Not only had the Indiana Fever hired a new head coach, the door had been opened by them to an unprecedented WNBA chapter, one in which limits are pushed, norms are questioned, and the future is brimming with limitless opportunities. A new era in the WNBA has begun with Caitlyn Clark's surprising statement. However, who is she to make such a bold claim? Let's explore the incredible journey of the rookie who made the Indiana Fever a commercial force and a cultural phenomenon. A cultural influence and more than just a player, Caitlyn. Few athletes have ever transformed Indiana Fever in their careers, and Clark's influence extends well beyond the court. Clark did more than simply play hoops when she first took the court as a rookie. She changed the definition of what it meant to play professional sports as a game share. She transformed a long-struggling club into one of the WNBA's most exciting teams in just one season. Once thought to be simply another squad vying for attention, the Fever became the league's most sought-after ticket, attracting spectators from all over to see Clark's genius up close. Season ticket sales at Gainbridge Fieldhouse increased by over 400%, and attendance soared. Once a place that frequently seemed half-empty, the arena was now a hive of activity, teeming with spectators who were anxious to see every move Clark made. However, the change didn't end there. Brand partnerships and corporate sponsors, who had been looking for the ideal spokesperson to spark their campaigns, flocked to the craze, realizing that their effect and visibility may be increased just by having Clark there. Everyone wanted a piece of this rising star's orbit, whether they were national brands or local companies. Alongside her supremacy on the court, the team's financial and commercial profile also increased. Her influence was further enhanced by social media. All of Clark's highlights, assists, and key shots were shared on many platforms, drawing in both casual fans and knowledgeable commentators. Mainstream following her sporting accomplishments, the media celebrated her personality, charisma, and leadership with feature articles, interviews, and broadcast segments. She went from being a rookie phenomenon to more than that in a few months. She rose to prominence as a cultural icon whose impact goes well beyond basketball. But what really makes Clark unique is the unparalleled level of authority and sway she has inside the company. Her celebrity status has given her a say in important decisions that are often left to executives or long-term management, such as crucial decisions regarding coaching and team strategy. The Fever are more than just a basketball team looking to win games. They have evolved into a continuation of Clark's vision, a stage on which her leadership, marketability, and strategic acumen come together to influence the franchise's future. This uncommon blend of organizational clout and physical talent is nearly unmatched in the realm of professional athletics. In addition to being the face of the Fever, Clark is positioned as a guiding force with the power to redefine the team's identity because of her capacity to attract attention, motivate supporters, and influence operational choices. She's doing more than just playing the game. By combining the domains of sport, culture, and business into one captivating story, she is rewriting the rules. The Indiana Fever were a struggling team before Caitlyn Clark turned them into a force to be reckoned with, leaving a lasting impression that few rookies could ever hope to accomplish, both on and off the court. The genius of Caitlyn Clark extends beyond basketball. It is a manifestation of culture. Has she, however, reached her full potential? Has her exceptional talent been matched by her coaching? Let's now examine why Clark's game is hampered by Stephanie White's coaching style, which also exacerbates animosity in Indiana. Caitlyn Clark raises his voice. Stephanie White is regarded by many as a reliable basketball coach. However, some contend she is just not the appropriate person to lead Caitlyn Clark. This is not an attack on White's teaching abilities. Although she is obviously skilled, there is a growing belief that her style might not mesh well with Clark's innate playing style. To see why, take a look at Clark's own thoughts throughout. Subbard talked candidly about the difficulties of playing under White's system in a podcast interview. She has played at the highest levels, recording 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds in a single game, although Clark noted that occasionally she was subjected to limitations that limited her influence. Clark thought her instinct-driven style was suppressed in one memorable match versus New York, especially when she was forced to make cautious plays instead of the aggressive, high IQ moves that are her forte. She remembered times when she came close to achieving a triple-double, but was stopped or quietly reprimanded for taking calculated chances that might have increased her team's lead or inspired the audience. She cited a close fourth quarter in which she committed a turnover but was benched right after for what White considered a teaching moment. Clark clarified that her natural flow, which depends on impulsive choices and play driven by momentum, was frequently disrupted by these instructional moments. Basketball isn't about making as few mistakes as possible for her. It's about making the most of possibilities, taking calculated chances, and having faith in her abilities in the moment. Additionally, Clark bemoaned White's propensity to slow down the game at crucial points. White's approach frequently skewed toward time management rather than taking advantage of open opportunities for high-percentage baskets in games where the Fever had a sizable lead. Clark maintained that her group missed opportunities to score more easily because White's caution occasionally kept her from making impulsive passes to open teammates like Sophie Cunningham or Kelsey Mitchell. According to Clark, the outcome was a more uninteresting style of play that didn't showcase her talent to its fullest or thrill viewers. According to Clark, the main problem is that White is trying to make her into a player she isn't. Clark claims that White imagines her playing similarly to Paige Bueckers, an athlete who is essentially different with a more taciturn manner. A multi-generational talent with an unafraid attitude, Clark thrives on aggressive playmaking, inventive decision-making, and improvisation. Attempting to change her into someone she isn't undermines her abilities and breaks the connection she naturally brings to the dance floor. In the end, this conflict emphasizes the fine line that separates player instinct from coaching plan. Despite White's obvious competence, Clark's remarks imply that giving top basketball players the latitude to play how they want is frequently necessary for them to achieve ultimate greatness. The lesson is obvious to Caitlyn Clark. When she is trusted to play to her full instinctual potential, her game takes off. A lesson that emphasizes the importance of coaching alignment in addition to roster talent. When Caitlyn Clark is free, she shines the brightest, released by careful coaching. However, who actually possesses the wisdom and foresight to realize her full potential? And whose illustrious past prepares him for such a daring task? Let's examine the specifics. The basketball legend from Indiana takes over. Basketball greatness immediately springs to mind when you hear the name Larry Bird. Bird's influence extends well beyond the hardwood, and few athletes have had such a lasting impact on the game. In addition to being a basketball legend, Bird has 3 NBA titles, 3 MVP honors, 12 All-Star choices, and decades of coaching and business expertise. In the game, he is a living example of leadership, skill, and strategy. From the athletes he influenced on the court to the front office organizations he helped create, his impact is seen on all fronts. The state of Indiana, which influenced Bird as much as he influenced it, is inextricably linked to his story. He acquired the work ethic, foresight, and unrelenting competitiveness that would characterize his career while growing up in the little hamlet of French Lick. His trip to Indiana State University became legendary after that. The 1979 NCAA championship game between Bird and Magic Johnson, which is now regarded as one of the most thrilling games in college basketball history, marked the culmination of Bird's senior year. That incident not only solidified Bird's legacy in the history of basketball legend, but it also marked the beginning of a career characterized by accuracy, cunning, and clutch plays. Bird continued to make an impact on the sport beyond his playing days by moving smoothly into coaching and executive positions. He guided the Indiana Pacers to back-to-back trips to the Eastern Conference Finals and contributed his astute basketball acumen to the development of long-term plans that set up the team for long-term success. Bird gained reputation for his ability to assess the game, control talent, and create winning cultures from players, but also from teammates, supporters, and basketball experts worldwide. For the first time, a new stadium that many may not have thought of might host Larry Bird's unparalleled expertise. His presence might have a huge positive impact on the Indiana Fever, a WNBA team that is on the verge of change. Bird offers more than simply coaching savvy thanks to his strategic acumen, leadership background, and mentoring abilities. They have the power to change a league, a team, and how people view women's actual professional basketball. His participation goes beyond mere symbolism. It serves as a link between generations, combining historical expertise with modern skill, and offering a once-in-a-lifetime chance to take the Fever to new heights. The Fever get more than just a coach when they work with someone like Larry Bird. They acquire a legendary brain, a dependable leader, and a guiding force that can excite fans, motivate players, and redefine what it means to compete in the contemporary WNBA. This collaboration has enormous potential, and its effects may reverberate throughout the league, altering standards of greatness, tactics, and expectations. In the WNBA, Larry Bird is more than just a story. Basketball is poised to write a new chapter in its history. The Fever and the WNBA as a whole might be redefined by Larry Bird's remarkable skill. But what will actually come out of his collaboration with Caitlyn Clark? How much of an impact will they have? Go beyond the court? Let's examine how the Indiana Fever and women's basketball will change as a result of this historic partnership. Caitlyn Clark and Larry Bird. Caitlyn Clark and Larry Bird's potential partnership goes beyond just another coaching hire. It marks a daring, unheard-of change for the Indiana Fever, one that might redefine the team's very identity on the court. Everything is going to change because of this dynamic duo. How the Fever play, how their players develop, and how they approach each and every game. Bird provides decades of experience, a wealth of basketball knowledge, and an almost legendary grasp of the basics and strategy. He has shaped talent, produced winners, and made a lasting impact on the sport that few can match. The outcome may be nothing short of revolutionary when Clark's exceptional skills, her keen court vision, her scoring ability, her ability to control the flow of a game, and her innate leadership, combine with her experience. Every drill would turn into a master lesson. Fans have rarely witnessed the fresh depth, intelligence, and inventiveness with which any piece could be performed. However, this collaboration has far-reaching effects that go beyond hardwood. Outside of the court, there may be repercussions both inside and outside of the sports industry. Media attention would reach previously unheard-of levels. Print journalists, social media, and national broadcasts would all be eager to capture this momentous partnership. Basketball fans worldwide would be captivated by every game, highlight, and narrative, bringing exposure to the team and the WNBA overall. Given the enormous potential, corporate sponsors would quickly affiliate themselves with the Fever, offering hitherto unthinkable chances for collaborations, advancements, and investments. Arenas would fill up, ticket sales would soar, and online and in-person fan interaction might hit levels never seen by the league. This goes beyond a brief moment of enthusiasm. It is an opportunity for long-term development and impact. The Fever might take use of this momentous occasion to create long-lasting initiatives in community service, youth training, and player development. They may establish themselves as a representation of culture, creativity, and leadership in women's sports by presenting themselves as more than just a team that plays on the court. By demonstrating to a new generation of athletes that women's basketball is more than simply a game, they could motivate them. It serves as a forum for empowerment, influence, and constructive change. The pairing of Bird and Clark symbolizes the meeting point of contemporary genius and legend. Bird's unparalleled guidance coupled with Clark's enthusiasm, aptitude, and the Fever could become more than just a winning squad if they have personality. They might turn into a symbol of hope and creativity for the whole sports industry. This is more than just coaching. It's a declaration. In women's professional basketball, this is a daring, revolutionary moment that has the potential to redefine inspiration, competition, and leadership. The Indiana Fever have evolved into more than just a team. They are about to become a representation of creativity, quality, and the WNBA's bright and optimistic future. Bird and Clark together have the power to change not only the Fever's future, but the WNBA's as a whole. Could they have an impact outside of the league? Let's examine how Caitlyn Clark and Larry Bird are changing the definition of women's professional basketball and influencing future generations of women's basketball players. This bold and extraordinary choice has the potential to revolutionize the WNBA and have an impact on the realm of professional women's sports. Including someone like Larry Bird is more than simply a catchphrase. This assertion goes against the grain of popular wisdom. It claims that famous personalities' leadership, coaching, and mentoring are gender-neutral, and that their expertise and insight may elevate the game to new heights. Bird's role is much more than just symbolic. The Indiana Fever gain access to decades of basketball knowledge, strategic expertise, and a competitive advantage that few teams can match. Any league's teams could only dream of success. His presence is unmistakable. Sports greatness cuts across boundaries, demonstrating that skill, creativity, and sheer genius are genderless. Caitlyn Clark is equally transformational, and her influence extends well beyond her spectacular on-court exploits. By making the Fever a team that demands attention at every level, Clark has already established himself as a cultural and athletic powerhouse. Decisions that were previously unthinkable for a player of any age are now influenced by her voice, vision, and impact. Clark is more than just a talented athlete. She has the power to completely transform the organization since she is a catalyst and a motivator. Bird and Clark together offer a unique and potent convergence. Athletic prowess and business opportunity collide, history and modernity collide, and undeveloped ability meets seasoned expertise. Their collaboration is a bold experiment that questions established hierarchies and rethinks the potential of a WNBA team. The effects of this partnership will be felt well beyond the hardwood floor when audacity and creativity are prioritized. In addition to the star power, the promise of a new, revolutionary approach to basketball will entice sponsors, fans, and the media. Ratings for television could soar. Conversations on social media are about to explode, and business alliances might thrive like never before. Every match has the potential to be an unforgettable event, a platform for brilliant strategy, outstanding athleticism, and visionary leadership. It's more than just a basketball team. It is a cultural movement that combines business, community involvement, and performance in a way that has rarely been done before. The WNBA may experience a knock-on effect as other teams watch, pick up tips, and even imitate this audacious approach to player empowerment, strategy, and leadership. Beyond merely being league players, the Fever have evolved. They are trailblazers and innovators, demonstrating what women's professional basketball could look like in the future. Under the leadership of Bird and Clark, the club isn't solely focused on winning games. They are redefining the league's very potential and establishing a standard that may encourage future generations of athletes, coaches, and businesspeople to challenge the status quo, aim higher, and have bigger dreams. The future of women's professional basketball is starting to take shape right in front of our eyes as the Indiana Fever have ushered in a new age when skill, ambition, history, and strategy all come together. What do you think of Caitlyn's response when Larry took Stephanie's place? Please share your ideas in the comments section below. Remember to subscribe and like.